So, as a person born in the 90s, I've grown up in the social media era. Now, I've been on social media platforms for as long as I can remember and have said a fair few which I regret, or said a fair few which I wish I didn't say, but there we go. There we go. And that's where England cricketer Heather Knight comes into the frame. Now, if you don't know who Heather Knight is, I'll just put a Wikipedia link in the description so you can read about who she is and what she does. So, why is Heather Knight in the news? Well, recently, an old social media post from 2012 has come to light of her doing blackface, which we all know the historical links about that, so I don't need to go into that further. So she has apologised for her actions, which was subsequently fined for. Now, is this yet another episode of cancel culture? Well, who can say, really? Like, it's where Ollie Robinson found himself also 3 years ago, he found himself in the exact position 3 years ago where he was in trouble for like past posts from when he was a teenager, but he has since grown up a lot since then, and I believe we should allow for growth rather than cancelling people at every given. Like, following the Ollie Robinson saga from 2021, I thought this was going to happen time and again as more people who are teens in the social media era, like i.e. the early mid 2010s, make their first appearances in sports. Like, in the late 2000s / early mid 2010s, there wasn't really any social media training, so people just said whatever without any real ramifications for it. But now, as there's more spotlight, there are more ramifications for what people say and do on social media. So we've got to be more careful about what we can and can't say. Like this episode where a player gets in trouble for something they said on social media like ages ago, we've seen this before. Like, I recall back in 2016, an ex-Burnley player, who I won't mention by name, got pulled up for past social media posts, which he has since apologised for. So, yeah, I don't need to say any more on that. But we're seeing social media training being taken a lot more seriously now, as there wasn't any when I was a youth. Like, going back to Heather Knight, we know what she said was wrong, and what she did rather was wrong, and she knows that. So, and she can't move back. She can't turn back the clock. All she can do is move forward. I think this episode serves as a reminder of the importance of social media training, and I believe what's got to happen from here on in is that before a player signs their first professional contract, they've got to have their social media scoured entirely, just to make sure that there's nothing which could be construed as offensive, or whether there is something wrong they've said, just so that when they do come to making their professional debuts, or when they are playing at the highest level, that isn't a social media post which could come back to bite them. So, what are your thoughts on this latest episode? Like, do you think players should bother with social media at all? Like, I think when they're young, they're not really given like any tips on what to do on social media or what to say on social media. But what are your thoughts on this episode?